Okay, keep it this way. Here you go. Can I get you coming just a little bit closer? All right. Let me more of these.
Kevin Hart, and then he did his next projects with CodeBlack. So I could have easily been a hater, like, oh, you know what? He's with CodeBlack now. I can't support that. However, I went and stood in line and paid my money twice to see Laugh at My Pain in the theater because we got to support them. See what I'm saying? And that's not money going to me. That is us helping each other, whether we work together or not. When I sit on a panel and I say, here's my email address, but here's also Jeff Clanagan's email address, or here's Alan Blackwell's email address, because if you don't have competitors and you're by yourself, then your governing body might say to you, well, what do we need you for? So that's how we can support each other without necessarily working together. So I just wanted to say that.
So
This business it's very subjective.
It is.
It would be great, like my man down there said, if everybody on this panel worked together, but we don't all have the same ideas about what to do, how to do it, the stories that we want to tell.
So if we were to use that scenario that you just brought up, Sharif, and say, okay, well, you know what, we'll all of us at the table. You have to put aside. There's a guy, Ben Zeitlin, who directed Beasts of the Southern Wild. Did everybody see Beasts of the Southern Wild? Woo. Right? Okay. Ben Zeitlin, he's a white guy, and he's a part of this film collective. Right? Now, within that film collective, the whole conversation of what a film collective is that one day I'm the production designer, he's a director, he's a DP, and then that switches on the next film. So pride has to go aside. So if we're saying, Sharif, what that is, it may take some pride to go aside for some people to go, okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna put my film out through CodeBlack. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna forgo Screen Gems and these other guys. I'm gonna go there because that's that's an African American model that I can help build. And then in building that, and now I may not see the benefit of it in my lifetime, but he might because people don't understand. It's like Warner Brothers was brothers. Warner Brothers used to be these brothers.
They were black.
Read it up. Wikipedia. They were not black. They were not black. Smart ass.
Oh, I don't know my history.
The Warner Brothers were brothers. But a lot of times we don't look at it that way now because we think, oh, it's this big corporation. But back in the day when those companies started, it was some brothers that said, hey, you know what, we want to put some films out and, okay, let's do it. Go.
And that's the kind of thing. See, we misconstrue it because we act like it's like Dorothy on the yellow brick road. We keep thinking like the red shoes are going to get us, and then the munchkins will help us get, and the monkeys and all of that shit, And then you find, and then it's the damn dog that helps you realize that the wizard ain't worth shit. But like, Don and I ain't never worked on anything. This brother, first script, Down with Noah.
Yes.
And he and I have been in conversations for over a decade now. Yeah. When I see you, hey, how you doing, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Jeff Byrd and I have been over a decade, you know what I'm saying? When I met Matthew Cherry, I was like, my brain is open. What I think is a big problem for us is that we just don't open up our brains to each other. And if we open up our brains to each other and stop trying to be the dude, like a lot of are out here, that collectivity would happen. That those synapses would start clicking. Because I don't necessarily need your idea, I just need your energy.
Oh, and with that, though, to answer the DGA question, not that it was a question, but within the DGA, there's an African American Steering Committee, of which I am a part of. And that's when the black directors and ADs and second ADs meet. I'm part of Van Hayden, the first AD, he's back there. He used to be a co-chair 2 years ago. And I know, did some of you go to the brunch? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3. Okay, gotcha. Now, and I know a lot of people are like teetering on it. Well, should I join? Shouldn't I join? Yes, you should. There's no reason not to. And the beauty of it is now, being a DGA member, you can do even internet projects too. Because a lot of times we're like, oh, we can't do this project because it's too low budget. And if you're a DGA, we can't hire you. Yes, you can. You can be hired. they will actually forego, they will put certain things aside to let you work on the projects that you want to work on, no matter if they were $10,000. You can still go and do whatever you want to do. But the beauty of it is that money that you make from that project pays into your pension, your health, all those benefits that eventually when you become 80, you're going to want to need. And if you're just this maverick director running around, when you become 80, you just got your savings account. But when you're 80 and you're a DGA member, you have a pension, you have health, you have all that stuff. And you're going to need it. That's all I got to say. But so there is a black community within the DGA.
So come on down on Monday, join the DGA. Jeff Byrd will let you in the back door.
Okay, you know what? Let me explain that too real quick because he just opened up a can of worms there. Really fast. You have to be asked to be in the DGA. Okay? Let me. You have to be asked.
Who won't be in the DGA? Raise your hand.
No. You have to be asked by the DGA to be in it. It's a cost. It's about like $2,500, and also beyond that, you also have to have someone sign up. Two people have to write letters for you, and the people that write letters, like myself, I can only write 2 a year. You can only submit 2 a year, so it actually is a little bit difficult. So it's one of those secret societies we're talking about. But that doesn't mean stop. That doesn't mean don't try. But also there's a whole other way too. If you come from an AD perspective, Van, what's the hours?
Well, just to clarify a little bit, if you are on any project, don't mean to hijack.
No, go ahead.
But if you're on any project before you begin the project, before you actually start doing
And I will say this: who cares? If you're trying to do what Quincy's saying, who cares? I am my competition. I am not going to be able to break whatever Steve Zalian. How many people know who Steve Zalian is?
I do.
See, I'm testing y'all. You know what I'm saying? The dude who wrote Schindler's List. Searching for Bobby Fischer. I cannot care about what they are doing that sucks.
Right, and that's the question I'm getting at, is this idea of competition. Because there's a one hand of saying like, okay, this is how we have to deal with our competition, but at the end of the day, is that a factor?
But I think your safety net point is worth acknowledging though, because it's our ancestors and our elders. See, we have this conversation. It's heavy that we have to have this conversation because you go to Sundance or and it's. Let's just talk about the films. Let's just talk about the films. But our struggle is real. And though our ancestors, and I mean recent, even some of our elders that are still living today, that did phenomenal things in the industry, there was a failure. I won't call it a failure. There's a void that just like let's say you're trying to get a lot done in a day. And you get most of it done, but you forget to do this or you don't get to this thing. And when I talk about our elders, I'm talking about black folks in Hollywood in the 60s, 70s, 80s, early 90s. And all of the glorious things that were created, for whatever the reason was, that net wasn't built for us. In a lot of ways, we come in the door now from scratch. In a way that a 28-year-old simple other does not have to walk alone. And I'm not just talking about a money walk-in alone. I mean, I can go to this brother and go, hey, man, I went in this meeting and this happened. Those of us on this panel, you'll get in a moment where you'll be with somebody and they'll say something that should be highly offensive and you feel like they shouldn't even say to you. I'm talking about another. And it's a test of how you react to something kind of sideways being said to you. And that net is important. The only reason I say it's worth acknowledging because I think those of us that are in this now, or there's a little brother up here. Raise your hand, brother. This little brother's a filmmaker. He has a film in the festival. Brother, how old are you? 12.
Say him.
What's your name, brother? Hey, brother. Pete.
Elijah P. Esquire.
I think it's important as the brother understands it's important for him to build great films and do something that's great and believe in himself and know about overseas markets and all that. That he also feels an accountability to being a part of that net. That our folks need, because we out here. And and I'm not the most seasoned cat down here. But unless it's
unless it's a whole bunch of secret in-depth meetings I don't know about, we out here, naked in the wind, afraid to bust a grape. So that's all.
And let me speak to that real quick. Now what he said. Now because I want to address that too, because I think there's a lot of energy around it. But sadly, you're correct. They're not sadly, but you're correct. But also there are some means. I'm a part of the DGA, Directors Guild of America, yes, right? Sir. And there are not that many black people in the Directors Guild. But any director in this room should aspire to be a part of that, Charles. Any director should aspire to be a part of that.
Oh, now the first time is important?
Because of the fact that it addresses that safety net that this brother's talking about and that you brought up in a way, whereas you'll have some benefits. Because a lot of times we are out here alone, literally, like if you do your film, and, hey, we'll keep it real. A lot of our white counterparts, they can do 1, 2, 3, 10 bad movies and still work. You do one bad movie in this town, you're pretty much done. Especially if you do it on the studio level, or you have to go and reinvent yourself. And it does happen for them too. They have to sometimes go on. Danny Boyle had to go reinvent himself after he did The Beach. But on the other side of that, one year I was here, and this is a quiz. Does everybody in this room know who Charles Burnett is? Anybody know who Charles Burnett is? Director Charles Burnett. He was here one year and he was shooting behind the scenes. There's no freaking reason that Charles Burnett had to shoot behind the scenes of the Pan-African Film Festival. And he wasn't doing it for the goodness of his heart. He was doing it for the check. To Sleep with Anger was doing it for the check. There is no way there should be a safety net for him. There should be a safety net for all of those that came before us. And then there should be a safety net for us too. Because you should be able to create, you should be able to be creative. And if your film don't make money, there's no guarantee if your film's going to make money or not. But if it comes from your heart and you're being creative and you're trying something, just because it doesn't make money does not mean that you are a write-off and you're not creative anymore and oh my God. Because guess what? When their films don't make money, they go, hey, Joe, you'll get them next time. We'll sign that other deal and we'll do that other thing. Happens every day. So in that respect, there's WGA as well, the Writers Guild, which Don is a part of, the Directors Guild, there's Producers Guild as well, which is is there for producers, but we should all, for ourselves. There used to be the Warrington had his the Black Filmmaker Foundation, which has kind of not been relevant as of late, but there needs to be another version of that for us, so that we don't have to always think, oh my God, this happened.
Point taken is that if you look at where distribution is going, distribution is now moving. It's YouTube, it's Netflix, it's technology. When I go to the Apple convention or when I go to these tech conventions, we're about 1% of the population in these conventions. Why aren't we going to these places where our next distribution platforms are at? Then we complain there's no black distributors. Yep.
And I think it's about knowing how to recognize the love too and see the support. So, for example, Brother Murray down at the end, the brother Ashley, he talking a lot of trash, but he's really loving. It's a love. It's not a love you can flinch at. But when I'm listening to you, brother, it's really, and he's talking about the yellow brick road and all that, but it's really from a space of love and the time that that we put in with each other. All of that, I think a lot of times we see putting each other on or supporting each other is basically if a cat helps you to become famous or helps you to get your thing out. But I think we have to broaden our scope of what that looks like, and know how to recognize the various ways that our support looks. Even if he don't think he loves me, it's still, and he may not be comfortable saying that, but I'm telling you, and I don't know the brother at all, but I'm telling you, the attitude of, people don't know what they're talking about, they not studying, and they're not, people need to raise their standard and all that. If that's the case, and if the brother, if it ain't from a space of love, he wouldn't be here and he wouldn't say nothing. Nobody getting paid to be up here. The brother here, and what he's saying is love. Yeah. And it's how I'm receiving it, even if that's not how you mean it.
Frederick Douglass, ladies and gentlemen.